Don't worry. Breathe. One step at a time. First tie off. Second tie off. I've always loved spending time in the water since I was a kid. But I mean, most kids probably do. It wasn't until my early 20s that I actually stumbled upon the sport of scuba diving on a summer family vacation in Greece. The whole idea of breathing underwater terrified me at first. But my brothers and I powered through it, and at least to me, this became a life-changing experience. Fast forward about 12 years, and I'm now what you would call a dive professional, teaching new open water divers and shooting underwater footage for advertisement and TV. I fell head over heels in love with the ocean, the silence, the weightlessness, the creatures, the way it automatically makes me leave every bit of worry back ashore and demand my undivided presence and attention, the way it fulfills my craving for adventure and exploration, and time again changes how I see the world. I guess this is why I keep coming back. But through all of these years of open ocean adventures, I've always felt drawn to this other style of diving. This kind takes place in environments that stand in sharp contrast to the vast blue oceans. There are very few animals, very few plants, and even less sunlight. This style is known as overhead environment diving, or in layman's terms, cave diving. So where does one go should they seek to learn this unique style of diving? Cave diving exists all over the world, but there is just this one specific place that most refer to as the world capital of cave diving: the Yucatan Peninsula, Mexico. Mission objective. The cave diving course that I'm currently facing is considered to be one of the most technically demanding dive courses in existence. And if that weren't enough in itself, I for some reason decided that I also wanted to document the whole thing at the same time. Cause you know, why not? Let's get ready for touchdown. Okay, so, day one. I actually didn't know what to expect, so I just focused on preparing my gear and my mind for what's to come. Technical diving requires a lot of equipment, and at this level of diving, you're expected to show up to the course with everything ready to hit the water. And when I say everything, I'm not only talking about physical equipment. Mental preparation is equally crucial. Time to go meet my instructor.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Hello.
You already started? Oh my god, haven't even started and you already started. Please come on in. Moment. Yo, kill.
How you doing, dude?
Man.
Captain Hawk.
Are you ready?
So happy to finally meet you. Hey man.
Yeah, you too.
Moment. Come
Perfect.
on, please. Go ahead. Well.
Nice to finally meet
Hello.
you.
That's the
Laura
boss.
and the mini boss.
And the mini boss. So my name is Gustavo Padilla, and I have been teaching diving in overhead environment for a bit over 3 years now. So equipment, in case you need anything, just let me know and we can grab it from here. But at the end of the day, this is where we are. This is the charging center. This is where we are gonna make sure that we charge our lights. And classroom. This is where most of our mornings are gonna start. We're gonna be doing a little bit of theory. Then we go to the cenote and we do some field drills. And then we practice that in the water. There's gonna be lots of talking, okay, at least on my side.
Yeah.
Okay. Dark side divers, we are a family. That's what we are. It's not just Laura and me. It's everybody who gets involved, everybody who comes and trains with us and dives with us. We don't consider ourselves a dive shop. We are a dive operation, but it's a dive operation that is run by a family. We open our house doors because our storage and everything, classroom, everything is our place, and so it's just a big family, and thankfully it's growing and growing.
Yesterday we had a long theory session. We spent, I think, 5-6 hours in the classroom just going over all the basic stuff for cave diving, like buoyancy, positioning, trim, propulsion, basic cave techniques, communication, etc.
It could be big like this.
5 or 6 hours in the classroom, and then we went to the pool.
Yes, boss. Yes, ma'am. All right, guys, please have a seat.
Practicing finning techniques, talking about how to set up our gear, like standardization, so we have the same gear set up for all of the team. We also did some dry runs of the S drill. The S drill is the
Gas sharing drill. S for sharing, drill, right? So this is one of the most important drills one can practice and be comfortable with, because in a real life situation, knowing this drill and being comfortable executing it might be the difference between having a good time and not really, and like, you know, saving your teammates' life. Simply put. Mick, amount of gas.
gas sharing in the S drill is not a new skill to me. It's something that I've practiced on numerous occasions in other technical diving courses throughout the years. I even teach it sometimes. But under the circumstances that we're training for here, it's required that you're not only able to execute the skill, you need to master it. You also need to be able to keep a stable platform, control your light source, and ultimately do it all completely blind. So today we started out with a short theory session, just talking a little bit more about communication with lights, and then we went to the cenote.
The word cenote comes from a Mayan vocable, Cenote, that literally means hole on the ground filled with water. There's really nothing poetic about it, but it's quite descriptive. Yeah.
It was just amazing. I've been looking forward to doing this course and like seeing Mexico and the cenotes for years now. So just being able to actually be there and get in the water in one of these places is just magical. We only stayed in like the open water part of it today, and we did some line drills. We also did some gas sharing drills. You just got kind of getting a feel for each other and the cenote, the water, just like practicing. And tomorrow We're going in the overhead environment and I can't wait.
We are in Mexico, more specifically Quintana Roo in the Yucatan Peninsula, which is basically the place to be if you like cave diving. The topography and geography of the area makes it unique because this is basically just limestone, and we're basically just standing on top of one of the largest underground river systems in the world. A long time ago, the Yucatan Peninsula was below the sea level. It was a big chunk of coral, so it was alive. It was all submerged, it was alive, and then there was a meteorite that crashed not far from here, in what is now the northern part of the Yucatan Peninsula, in the region of Chicxulub. So this impact was so big, so intense that it changed completely the whole scenario. Basically, it raised a dust cloud that kept the sun from shining down here. So the planet went into a really long winter, an ice age, abruptly, and so the reef, this coral, huge chunk of coral that was the Yucatan Peninsula, because the water levels went down, got exposed to the environment, and it dried out and died. And therefore, the whole Yucatan Peninsula is now made out of limestone. Now, as you know, limestone is really porous, and so there's a lot of thick vegetation growing, like really thick. So this vegetation contains carbonic acid. Whenever it rains, the rainwater mixes with the CO2, and then with the carbonic acid, which is contained in the leaves and in the bark of the trees. This carbonic acid dissolves the limestone, making holes, making like little holes. And these holes sometimes get big enough for them to become cenotes. Most days during the class are always going to start with we go pick up our tanks. So the owner of the filling station was an explorer, and now it's basically his eldest son running the operation. Almost no dive center will have their filling station around here. It's just easier to buy your own tanks and just have them fill them up and worry about the maintenance of the compressors, because it's a pain in the ass, seriously. Then, ideally get some food.
If I had to mention one thing besides the caves that made me fall head over heels in love with Mexico, it would be the concept of breakfast tacos.
Para ellos, barbacoa y chile relleno en cada plato. Por favor.
So this one is spicy and the other one is super spicy.
This one's spicy, this one's spicy. Basically, yeah.
Tabo actually told me before I came here that people come for the diving, but they stay for the tacos.
And then go to the dive site. Yeah, for sure there's going to be some other courses going on here today, and you will see how in the next few days we're going to be seeing pretty much the same instructors and the same students because there are only a few of these caves we can use for training. So let's go. All right, please come with me. I will show you around a little bit. Buenos días, ¿cómo estás? Bien, bien. This is Cenote Eden. It's among the diving community. It's also known, or better known, as Sistema Ponderosa. And then at dive site, we're going to do a little bit of theory. Then some field drills, which are going to reinforce what we just learned in the theory.
The field drills of the cave course represent actual imaginable problems and scenarios that might arise on a cave dive. Most of these are situations that could easily be taken care of, given that you're carrying the right gear and did the right training, but might also prove catastrophic if not.
I bumped on And then after the field drills, then we're gonna go and practice everything we saw on the theory and on the field drill.
One crucial distinction of cave diving is the essential use of a guideline. Unlike open water diving, where the surface is always right above you, cave exploration means navigating a complex underground maze. This demands a constant lifeline, a continuous guide leading from wherever you are back to open water. Most training dives on the course starts with a relaxed and suspiciously peaceful swim to the furthest part in the cave that you're currently allowed to go. Then right when you're ready to turn the dive and head on out, your instructor hands you a blindfold. From here on out, you're in for a catastrophic joyride, trying to solve equipment failures, line entanglements, and blind navigation all the way to the exit. Happy cave diving.
Hell yes.
Yeah, Mick did very well on this first dive. You know, we make a mistake, it's fine. We just receive feedback, we fix it, and then we try again. I have good hopes for this one.
Constantly working through problem solving makes you even more aware of all the potential hazards that comes from diving in caves. Tavo keeps emphasizing the importance of the 3 levels of awareness, always being mindful of yourself, your team, and the bigger picture around you. It's like a safety net to keep you from stumbling into trouble. But still, you gotta gear up mentally. Be ready, even for the worst case scenario.
The worst case scenario would be finding myself away from the line and in really low visibility. The best way to deal with it is to take things slowly. Yeah, it is a bad situation, but if we want to rush and power through things, most probably we're not really going to think thoroughly and remember the protocols that were already established for this situation.
Right.
Line Appreciation Day, well, it's one of the most fun days, both for students and for the instructor in the CAPE program. Basically, we practice this, we teach this just for students to appreciate the line, to understand the importance of being close to the line, to having the line always on our side, and for them to also understand how bad a situation it is to be separated from our teammates and from the main line. That's a lot of fun. All right, so we're gonna pretend that we are a team of 2 and we go into this cave, which is mixed cave. Okay, we do all of our pre-dive checks and we start going down. Now, let's just pretend I have a camera, okay? And you're diver number 1, I'm diver number 2. All right, so we go down. Okay, and then we start going. Okay, so as usual, we're gonna go in nice and slow, making sure we take mental notes, the stalactite, the stalagmite, the pronounced turn right, the line marker, right? Very good. And now, let's just say for whatever reason, I have my camera and I see a beautiful wet rock. So I absolutely need to go and take a picture of it. But I don't communicate with you, okay? I find myself away from the line with very low visibility. First thing I'm gonna do, again, I'm not gonna assume that I know where the line is, but in most cases, the line most probably will be on my back. So I'm not gonna turn, I'm not gonna move too much. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to deflate my wing, deflate my suit. So I'm gonna go down on the floor and I'm gonna try to find a couple anchoring points, ideally at shoulder width. What I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna take my safety spool As much as we can, ideally we would find 2 fixed anchoring points. But if we cannot find one, is it wrong if I just take a stone, lift it, and tie off onto it? Definitely not. Better than nothing. Okay, so number 1, then I look for number 2. I do a lock on it. I'm gonna turn. I'm gonna extend the spool. I want to make sure that my line is as much as possible on a 90-degree angle. I'm gonna kick a couple times. I'm gonna make sure that I'm covering my head. 1, 2, then I'm gonna look for the line as high as I can. If it isn't there, then I'm going to kick a couple more times. 1, 2, go back down on the floor and make sure that the spool is extended. Whenever you think that you've spent way too much time, way too long, keep going for another minute or 2. Okay? Time will seem to go super slow if you find yourself in this situation, so just keep pushing a little bit. So, whoa, look at that. Bingo. You want to make sure that you don't lose that line again. Yeah. Hold on to it as if your life depended on it, because it is now. Okay? So, you're holding on to it, and as you do that, you want to go a couple times on the line, take your non-directional marker, a cookie, and you're gonna place it on your exit side, where you think the exit is. Never let go of the line. Read what you did, switch sides, make sure both hands are on the same line, cover your head, and get out as soon as you can. All right. This is basically worst case scenario. We do not teach you this exercise so that you think it's okay to leave the line because you know how to find the line. This is hopefully gonna give you a glimpse of how bad it is so that you avoid this at all costs, right? Still, we need to apply strict protocol when doing this so that we can, if we find ourselves in this situation, safely exit. Any questions?
No.
Okay.
I think I get it.
All right, let's see. Put the blindfold on. Okay, and raise your feet. I'm going to take you away from the line. I'm gonna tap on you, couple taps, and God bless.
I'm gonna deflate and go to the bottom.
Yes. What's next?
Then I'm going to look for tie-off points.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna get my spool out.
Cover your head.
Turn around.
Mm-hmm.
Switch hands.
Perfect.
Make sure that I have the 90-degree, right?
Beautiful.
Couple of kicks going forward. Couple of kicks.
Okay, so you found it.
I did. It was took a couple of tries.
But you did.
Yeah, managed in the end.
Yes. So it's really important to never lose sight of the line.
Yeah.
Also important to always make sure that you swim in nice and slow, and as you do, remember to take those mental images. Kind of make yourself a map, a mental map
of the place you're swimming into.
Yeah.
So that on the way out, should you find yourself in one of these complicated situations, you have an idea of where you are.
That makes sense.
Good job.
All right. Awesome. That was fun.
You do appreciate the line a bit more now,
Yeah.
right?
Definitely. I definitely do.
Let's go out.
All right.
I want some tacos.
You're a really solid diver. You always get what the skills are all about, right? But still, we fail to remember to slow down. You have to remember our mantra: slow is smooth, and then smooth is fast. Okay? You will see that everything will be a lot easier.
I'll work on that.
We're now on day 10, and I'm unmistakably starting to feel the exhaustion from the countless hours spent in the water. But at the same time, I feel fully immersed in the lifestyle and irresistibly drawn to the alluring darkness of the caves. These mesmerizing cathedrals, hidden beneath the jungle, somehow speaks to something completely primal in me. And I can't wait to go back.
And this is the downstream section, and this is the upstream section. Downstream and upstream. Actually, do we have a compass? So we're here, basically right here. This is the line that we're gonna start from, which is right over there. There's no need to make a connection with the open water because the line already starts in the open water section, okay? And we're gonna do a jump left. That's gonna be probably after 7-8 minutes.
The full cave diver course consists of 3 separate sections: the cavern course, intro to cave, and the full cave level. During the initial 2 stages, emphasis is placed on familiarizing yourself with the fundamentals of overhead environment diving. These foundational skills are honed while navigating in and out of the cave along the main line, never leaving it out of your sight. As you move up to the full cave level, the complexity of navigation intensifies. In the following dive, I'll be the one responsible for navigating our 3-person team through a section of cave that includes 3 jumps. A jump is made by tying a dedicated reel onto the main line and connecting it to a separate line system down a subsequent path. We'll pass some minor restrictions along the way, and when we hit our planned turn pressure, we'll slowly be headed back the same way we came in, cleaning up all of our navigational tools along the way. No more simulated emergencies, no more blindfolds. Hopefully.
When I'm in a cave, it's all silence. It's just my equipment, my teammates, the bubbles. It's almost a meditative state of mind. It's peace, it's bliss, it's Yeah, it's hard to explain. Look at me, I just get goosebumps.
Cave formations, millions of years in the making, stretch out like otherworldly sculptures. Tall stalactites shimmering in the slow-moving torchlights. All I hear is my heartbeat and the sound of my air bubbles creeping along the ceiling. This place is a testament to the enduring beauty of nature's craftsmanship, submerged and frozen in time. We're just privileged to witness it.
That was crazy.
Like that?
Yeah.
Very good dive. Why don't we just get out of the water and we'll talk about the dive at the surface.
Perfect. All right, let's do that.
Completing a dive like this definitely made me feel a sense of accomplishment. I managed to keep a high level of awareness while not making any big mistakes. It was at this moment that all the little details that we've been training for the last 10 days started to come together like the pieces of a jigsaw puzzle.
So, how do you feel?
Feel pretty good. This dive was definitely a lot more like there's a lot of tasks and a lot of things to do, but it was also like I felt pretty good actually. I felt like the things started to come together and yeah, it was nice.
You look good. You look good.
Thank you.
So, remind me, what's the whole objective of the cave course?
The objective of the cave course is to be able to plan and execute a safe cave dive.
Very good. And where do you think we are at this point?
I felt like I managed.
Definitely, there's been lots of improvements. And quite frankly, like if you were to go diving with a buddy tomorrow, I don't think you're gonna kill yourself. I guess for me, there's really nothing left to say other than well done. Congratulations. Good job. Well done.
Oh, that was awesome.
Great. You did good, man. You did good. You should be proud of yourself.
Hell yes.
Yeah.
I didn't even know it was the last dive today.
Yeah, well, if there were no skills to be done, then you know. Yeah,
That's
good
awesome.
job. Good job.
Good thing we have at least like a couple of days of cave diving.
Oh yeah, we have some fun. This is where the real fun begins. We finally made it. Maybe in some skills it took us at least a couple times to do it, but in general he was always able to get the objective and he was able to deliver, so I'm really happy. I'm actually super happy, and it made it look easy.
In the depths of these caves, I found a world unlike any other. A world where silence is profound, where every move is measured, and and where the exploration of the unknown quickly becomes a burning addiction. This is my story of cave diving, a world waiting to be explored by those who seek the extraordinary.
So, Mick, welcome to the club. Welcome to the dark side.
Must be like terrified of us now.
Oh, shit!